Hello and welcome to our channel. Today we are going to learn about some vocabularies and phrases, okay, which are related to COVID-19. This is Subhash from Mercy Education. So let's start. First word is coronavirus. Now what is coronavirus? It's a type of virus and it's a group of related viruses that cause disease in mammals and birds. Okay, so they also cause respiratory tract infection. So which can range from mild to severe. So that's coronavirus. Second vocabulary is COVID-19. So what is COVID-19? According to WHO, coronavirus disease is an infectious disease caused by a newly discovered coronavirus. So COVID-19 stands for coronavirus disease, which was found from late 2019. Okay. The other word, which is very common these days, it's pandemic. What do you mean by pandemic? It's a global outbreak, okay? So let's say, for example, corona is prevalent over a whole world now, right? So it's a pandemic. Now, knowing about pandemic, let's also talk about endemic, epidemic. Okay, so what are they? Endemic means a condition, okay? It's a condition or disease found regularly among particular people or in a certain area. Whereas this epidemic means a widespread occurrence of an infectious disease in a community, in a certain community, or in a particular time. Understood? So endemic, epidemic, that's how this pandemic has come. Another very popular word these days, it's quarantine, right? So what is quarantine? You can see here in the picture also, different people, they're staying in a separate tents, right? So quarantine basically is a place of isolation, all right, where peoples or animals that have arrived from elsewhere or been exposed to infectious disease are placed. So people coming from different countries, so which are exposed to this virus, no? So to check them whether they are okay or not, they are kept in a separate place, in an isolated place. So that isolated place is called quarantine. So it can last for around 14 days. All right, so I hope you understood this. Self-quarantine, it's the another term, right? So what is self-quarantine now? It's basically isolating us from any contact with other individuals. So it's like a refraining, okay? So that, we don't get in contact with other individuals. So for a certain period of time, like let's say 14 days at home itself. So we are isolating ourselves from others. So we are causing inconvenience for ourselves for the safety of others. So that is what? Self-quarantine. Okay. Well, these two terms, quarantine and isolation, so they are frequently coined these days. So what's the main difference? Now see, so if it's not confirmed whether you are sick or you have come from different places and there is possibility that you may be infected or may not be. So you will be kept in a separate place for 14 days. Okay, so after that also, if you do not show any kind of signs of sickness or your test becomes negative, then yes, you can go home. So that kind of isolation is called quarantine. But isolation particularly means you are definitely sick. You are showing some signs and symptoms. So it can last from 10 days on or maybe more till you get completely treated. Okay, so that's the difference between quarantine and isolation. The another word here is covidiot. Okay, so here in the word itself you can see idiot. So covidiot is a noun that represents a person who is ignoring the safety measures, okay, now related to coronavirus. For example, he's not wearing mask in a public places, he's not maintaining safe distance, like there is no social distancing like thing, okay, and the other is he's not adhering lockdowns, so completely ignoring and showing himself very foolish in front of others, okay. So that kind of person, they are called covidiots. Okay, I hope you understood this term. Let's see the other word. Now here the other word is lockdown. So what is lockdown? You can see the locks and chains, right? So you can see the empty streets. It's like lockdown basically is a restriction, okay? It's a restriction imposed by authorities so that they can regain control over some kind of issues. Now the problem issue is here this widespread of coronavirus, right? So lockdown basically means restriction, okay? Now, what is co-video party? Co-video party means meeting over Zoom or Skype or any other video conferencing, right? So having a party, having a meetings, not physically over the video calls. Okay, so Zoom meeting, Skype meeting, or Messenger meeting, no? So group calls. So they are called what? Co-video party. All right. Now the next word is PPE. PPE stands for personal protective equipment. So what are they? You can see the gown, masks or respirator, goggles or eye shield, gloves. So any kind of equipments which are used for personal protection, right? So for doctors or any other medical staffs. So any other person who are exposed directly to the patients, coronavirus patients or any other kind of patients. So that kind of equipments are called personal protective equipment, PPE. Social distancing is also called physical distancing, okay? So it means keeping safe space or distance between yourself and other people. Let's say it's about like, it shows here 1 meter, but normally they keep a distance of 2 arms or 6 feet, yeah? So at least 1 meter should be there. So that's what? Social distancing. Work from home. Now this abbreviation WFH is very much famous these days. So WFH means work from home. Symptomatic. What does it mean by asymptomatic? So symptoms, asymptomatic. Okay. So asymptomatic means where the symptoms are not visible. So they don't have any kind of symptoms. So here you can see in this pyramid asymptomatic cases. So that's mild. So they have, but it's not visible. Okay, symptoms are not visible. So symptomatic, asymptomatic. Okay. Now here you can see in this percentage, 30.9% of patients with asymptomatic SARS-CoV-2 infection. 30.9% were adults aged 30 to 49 years. Okay. So asymptomatic. So now you know that without showing any kind of symptoms. Community spread. What does it mean? Community spread. Okay, so is it spreading in community or what? So it's basically getting infected without knowing any source. Okay, so where you have got infection from. So if you don't know that, so we say it as community spread. So here also you can see the definition. Community spread means multiple people have been infected with a contagious disease in an area where people are not sure how or where they became infected. Okay, so that's community spread. This much vocabulary for now related to coronavirus, this COVID-19. Thank you for watching. Thank you for being with us. All right, so for now, this much only. Stay safe, stay healthy. Bye-bye for now.